and then comes the Ganga out, straight into the mouth of Bhishmadev. Everything is spectacular, amazing. These books are full of spectacular things, absolutely spectacular. So therefore it's amazing literature to read this even you could say physically spoken, it's just amazing. But to speak of the spiritual dimension. So these personalities are very, very out of the range of any material estimate and speculation. So Indra's depression was right because he actually, was almost missing Dhritarashtra. What a nice lecture! I have to kill the lecturer. I have to kill the instructor. That was destined. It must be. So therefore another lesson to be learned here, that Krishna's will has to take place. Our judgment, our sentiments, they play no role. And we encounter in our lives in a miniature way, but we encounter incidents and we encounter situations we will not be able to change. They will just happen. This is destined. Krishna wants to have it that way. Especially when Krishna's attention is turned to you, and you get some mercy, then Krishna personally takes charge of the events happening in your life. It has to happen. When you study like Prabhupada's preaching, right? Technically spoken, we are running much more as he did, in that sense that we are just, we are actually, the lecturing time is much bigger as his. Yes, we are trying to preach and lecture. And the result is not so spectacular. And Prabhupada just stopped in the airport, make a devotee. That devotee make another 100 devotees. Then he kept on traveling. Sometimes he didn't travel anywhere. There was a long stretches which Prabhupada had to recuperate. He went to India. His disciples were struggling, very much struggling, but it was growing. In his absence, as they say, Gandhi was saying, that the quality of a manager you realize not in his presence, but in his absence. Because then you see how amazingly he set up the things so they go on. And in Prabhupada's case, it's 1,000 times more applicable because Krishna was actually managing for him. Prabhupada was sometimes even doubtful himself. Can they even sustain this instruction? Can they sustain it under Krishna, please help me? He never wanted to install Radha Krishna. He said, these people are not qualified for this. And then he came back and he said, they are not doing so bad. Therefore, he always considered disciples being sent by Krishna and ultimately being taken care of by Krishna. He considered himself simply being a facilitator. So that's what we are. We are just facilitators of Srila Prabhupada's mission, and we should be aware of that. That we are not actually the, impulse where this movement will spread from. We are just facilitating the impulse. We are facilitating that. That's called parampara, understanding. So we just do our little part, and then let's see. If Krishna finds us qualified, then he may give a little bit. But Krishna is very careful not to give us something we absolutely cannot sustain. Like they asked even Prabhupada. But if Bhaktivinoda Thakur, was such a powerful acharya, and his eyes were only fixed direction west. He wanted to spread Krishna consciousness to the west. He was the first one who sent even a book, about Lord Chaitanya to west, So he wanted that Krishna consciousness goes out of India and spreads to the west. So why didn't he do that? Why didn't Bhaktisiddhanta really do that? Prabhupada said, so if he has done that, then what will we do? No job. So Prabhupada said he kindly left a little piece for us. So we have something to do too. And this is the understanding how devotional service is received. It's a kind gift that we also can be engaged in devotional service. Otherwise, if he has done the whole thing, well, there's nothing to do for anybody. It's done. Great. So it's a mercy of the previous acharyas that we can struggle around and actually do our little part. As Krishna even tells to Arjuna, fight and gain the glory. I gave it to you. Enjoy the kingdom. You know, he gave him actually that field, that battlefield. He can be active. Otherwise, Krishna is God. He can just go poof, whole battle over, They'll be all for all the dead. That will be kind of boring, pretty short thing, So Krishna gave no fight here, day after day, and Arjuna had to prove himself. And he was almost killed, and he started again. It's a whole drama like this. And Krishna has a real sense of drama, a real sense, Otherwise, it will be a very boring thing and a very short book too. Open the Bhagavad Gita and the Supreme Lord did this. That will be 3 pages and it's over. It will be pretty thin book, Bhagavad Gita, But no, Krishna explains, so you can do that. So this is actually how merciful the parampara system is. So we can also make a spiritual advancement, we can also get the benefit, and we can finally, on basis of that, may be able to return back home, back to Godhead. Some comments to this? Some questions? Yeah.
We mentioned is like everyone can sing kirtan, it's not really how skilled. And I agree, I remember Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he had one of the worst singers materially spoken.
Well recorded.
But when we see, like for instance, we wouldn't ask a person who is not skilled to cook because the result would be unhealthy. But cooking is also...
but the damage in wrong singing and the damage in cooking is substantially greater. Because by bad singing, maybe your ears get a little bit uncomfortable. But by bad cooking, it's a fact. It's not even that, actually, I remember, devotees, godbrothers of mine, they're very known as terrible singers. But by simply, sincerely trying, they became actually very reasonable singers.
Going in time and he came, he couldn't hold a tune. Going in time and he came.
Well, he still has a hard time to hold a tune, but it's
much better. much better. And at least he sings loud, right? You can hear him.
Yeah. So it's like when you look at this, it gets better. It gets better. And you sincerely try, and this is the element we should never forget. Somebody sincerely trying. That's like the thing which moves the whole thing ahead. Therefore, we are so allergic to people who actually don't try. They come here to illuminate us. Therefore, like I told you today in the morning, anybody coming around that corner here should have the same attitude. I came here to learn. As soon as we think like this, then everything can be worked out. But if somebody opens his mouth and I came here to teach, and he does it in a notorious, repeated way, and you say, then open your own temple. This big world, out there. Go out, start a new sampradaya, please. There's even a devotee, a Prabhupada disciple, who was such a notoric teacher. Notoric teachers. They always had to teach. Before he joined his movement already, he had his movement. And Prabhupada was amazing. Even it was actually highly offensive. In the presence of spiritual master, always had to something to say. Acting like a secondary guru. Prabhupada said, no, you can open a new movement. You have my blessing. But we will see the result. We will compare. Prabhupada was very pragmatic. It's amazing how tolerant Prabhupada is. But we also say to the people, you want to, two regulatory principles and Krishna best and Krishna this, and go and open your movement. Let's see how it lasts. Because we know perfectly well the only thing which will last, even here amongst us, is to the degree we follow Srila Prabhupada, we don't. We really understood what he meant by saying this. We are reading everything, it doesn't mean we understand. That understanding has to come with practical experience, and mature means you live through the instruction. And you realize, and you make your mistakes, and you learn from that. And Prabhupada took it all into consideration. But that was the quality of this really, even very lunatic people. They were not lunatic enough. They were, not to listen to what Prabhupada said. And they tried. Prabhupada can say, And then, then improvement was noticed. But if somebody insists on his misconceptions, or even preaches to others, that's very short-lived concept. It looks for a while like something impressive is happening. I mean, you know how many of these, hallelujah, here comes the solution things we had. And then, not much happening there. Maybe I notice it's getting more and more shorter. It was more like, for the next 10 years we will go, blah, blah, blah. Nowadays it's like for next 10 days, and next 10, it becomes like next 10 minutes, and that's it. What? Joy! Boom! Joy! Joy! And then, of course, when you get older in Krishna consciousness, you get a little bit, you have to be careful because you get a little bit slightly cynical. You think, oh, joy! Joy! It was decided congregationally, this is the way to go. Well, you know what a congregation Mr. Hitler had? Really powerful. And they really got something done before they got all killed. So just because, the whole team comes together like, let's cool down and let's see what Prabhupada really said. And actually one tends to be more careful before one puts one energy sometimes somewhere, sometimes too careful maybe. A risk is always there. Even Prabhupada, he took a huge risk, And he had to pay his price for that too. There was much frustration to be collected down the road also. But that's part of the whole attempt. But we should not voluntarily ask for frustration. Please, it's called, in America they call it, shooting yourself in your own foot, It's an internet, a guy, sticks his head in shooting and he goes, draws the gun, and then he goes, then he shoots himself in the foot. That kind of shooting is really not necessary. We can avoid it. Yeah.
When we were in Aarhus, we had a discussion over one topic that how come sometimes we see that our sadhana is quite lousy, we're not really attentive when we chant our rounds, we're not doing it wholeheartedly, but then when we go out, anyway, Krishna, he allows the books to go.
Yeah.
How can that be?
Because he cannot be calculated. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita even, don't depend on a regular course of action like this. Sadhana is the means, not the goal. The means. So Krishna's mercy cannot be calculated. And those who tried, my best Sankirtan day, one Sankirtan was the worst rounds I ever chanted probably in my life. I was sick, I was sitting in an ice-cold wet car, chanting, I was going, today is useless. It was raining, it was a small town with 5 people on the street. I never forget that day, because all the Sankirtan around me, brahmacharis, and they were all packing the books, German Sankirtan especially, if they're loud. Before they go out, they are really loud. Really loud. And I was like, I was so sick, I was just chanting, and then everybody left. And I couldn't, one of the worst things to sit in a car, and watch other people passing by. And so I was going, okay, I will at least try and read one book today. So I just packed like 10 books, which was already catastrophic because we used to carry 60 books with us. So, and I just went out of the car, and it was raining. I just turned to the first person who came around and I was like, Guten Tag, you know. And he stopped. He looked at me like, and I was going, you know, we have these nice books here. I couldn't even formulate the mantra too clearly. And he was looking at me, okay. And he got it. I was going, one book at least today. But since I did one book, maybe I can try two. So I just turned around. There was very few people on the street. It was raining, you know, and I was going, oh, excuse me, I couldn't even speak loud, you know, my whole power just, and the person was like, yeah. What did you say? They couldn't even listen what I was saying. He said, they came close to the ear. And he got the book also. I was going, oh, I feel kind of better a little bit. And then I went around, and in that style, I was kind of crawling around the streets, you know, people like popping like in some kind of game out of the entrances, and, you know, and they just appeared like, you know, like out of nowhere. And I was like, and I was like, no books, and I wrote more books, and I felt the fever coming up, and I was like, okay, you know, and this and that. By the evening, you know, when I came back to the car, it was already, the party was in the car, I was a little bit late, you know, and they were all, you know, there was the same cocked up mood, you know, counting money, and I met a demon, and I told him, not like this, you know what hell is? That's where you go! That was German preaching those days. You know, this was like, you know, and then, you know, and I came back, and they look at me, oh, no, here comes our leader, you know, oh, yeah, look at this, he looks really almost dying, you know. So they just, I remember the devotee, he just looked at me and said, so how much did you do? I said, I don't know, I didn't count it actually, but I sent something like 108 books. And they were like, what? We even saw you the whole day away. And I said, I don't even know, I just, you know. And they were like, 108 books, are you nuts? And they looked at me, they counted the books in the car, and they were really missing. So, and I just collapsed. I had fever, I was just sick. I was just thinking, simply amazing, really just like, you're just completely overpowered by that, you know, by that mercy, because you could not even, you know, lift up a, you know, anything. Next morning I felt much better. Took a good rest. I woke up and I was and I was thinking, yeah, look at this Prabhu's here, you know, they're all falling asleep. He's not the whole night, you know, and this and that. And then we had foul chanting when you're out. Close Sankirtan party, you get all this package, you know, that he is chanting. And you have this whole morning this, you know, and he's chanting. You know, and it's very demanding to chant in such a close range association because it's affecting you. You go like, hey go! He goes, you know, he goes, don't touch him, I'm meditating. Because the first thing which walks up is the first ego, you know. So anyway, so you have this kind of close saying, so, but I chanted my rounds and I gave a smashing lecture, you know, let's go out and get it all and Krishna's mercy and become tool in Krishna's hands. And I just dashed out of the car. The first car who saw me was going, get out! And the next one was, Anaka, please! You know, and I was going, what's wrong? I mean, I chanted my rounds. Oh, I'm here. Krishna, take me. And he's not taking. Krishna said, that's not how it works. That's the beauty of Sankirtan, that you get the feedback right away. You cannot buy Krishna with some sadhana, you know. Forget it. Whatever sadhana you want to do, you know, that doesn't mean you should not be, you know, I like actually this deity greeting attitude, which was, you know, whereas you don't go to see the deities, you go so they can see you. You know, that's the whole idea. As Bhaktivinoda said, you should not work to see God, you should work that He can see us. And And when you have that attitude, then Krishna may give, Krishna may take, actually it doesn't really matter. Because you are situated rightly in the service, so sometimes blessing comes, sometimes less blessing. It's not the point. It's not even the point. It's not Krishna is preaching to Arjuna, you are not supposed to even decide. Are we going to win? Are we going to lose? So just do your thing. And then suddenly another type of happiness manifests. Not that passion one, Passion is like, you can have sometimes a very slow kirtan, very happy. And you can have a kirtan which resembles the Olympic Games, higher, faster, and we used to have kirtans like this when you're 30 brahmacharis, nobody is older as 25 years old, but you see what you get. There were just formations and spinning wheels and jumping sky high and jumping on the other end, and it was like, remember when Hare Krishna came to Germany, he said, this is not kirtan, what you are doing, it is Olympic Games. It was like spectacular, The kirtan didn't even speed up, it started already fast, yeah. It was just as soon as they got the medanga, after every kirtan, I remember, 3 hours kirtan was normal. The medangas were bloody. They always, I remember washing these medangas, with the heads, and it was a good kirtan, And all the medanga players, they had taped fingers like boxing guys, they had all taped and broken. It was a good kirtan, yeah! That's what you have when you have young boys. That's passion. And Krishna is, okay, yeah, passion boys, keep on jumping, yeah. But sometimes in distress, when you chant and this, suddenly there's such an ecstasy that you say, where's this coming from? I'm supposed to be a completely miserable being. And suddenly just, it's so ecstatic. And then comes the mind and goes, I told you, you are thinking it through, you are simply a perfect chanter. You are bigger as you think, you know that? And immediately the ecstasy is gone. This is the whole principle of Krishna consciousness. As soon as you think, I do it, Krishna goes, okay, do it. Yeah. Doesn't work, isn't it? But you did it. You really did it. You go, Krishna, I cannot do that. Help. Then Krishna is careful. Help a little bit. Are you getting puffed up? You go, no. I'm in full awareness. It's all your mercy. Can we give a little bit more? Krishna is watching and we go, oh, I got a little bit more mercy. That's nice. Thank you. And Krishna goes, yes, a little bit more. Well, it's me! That's what the training we are getting there. And we go, then we go, I know, I did it again. The Ravana came out again. Okay, sorry. I promise I will never do this again, just a little mercy, please. And so goes, okay, try again. 1, 2, That's the whole thing what we are going through every day. And if you want to have it really concentrated, you have to go and Sankirtan. Until you really understand, okay, I am just a tool. That doesn't mean I'm nothing. I am. But the tool. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.